Welcome to this podcast. My name is Dr. Ludidi. This is Jamal Ben Saddik. We recorded a podcast about Ramadan fasting, health, and much more. During the first part, we deep dive into Jamal's personal situation, about his opinion on spirituality, health, and how he copes with the hardship of life, losing his sister, being a cancer survivor, and many other things. During the second part, we talk about health, intermittent fasting, and Ramadan fasting specifically, and what you can do to get fitter during Ramadan with less struggle, with less complaints, with less symptoms of fatigue, exhaustion, and make use of the Ramadan momentum to thrive as a human being. I hope you like it. Don't forget to follow us on socials, and thanks for listening. Enjoy health. Welcome. And I'm very pleased to have you here at the table with me, your nutritionist, nutrition coach, health coach, but also to have a conversation with you about health, spirituality, religion, Ramadan fasting, and whatnot. We've been working together for almost a year now. I've been given the honor to guide you through your first Ramadan period together with me. We'll get back to that later during the talk, because I'm very curious also looking back at how that went. But for the listeners who do not know me yet, because you have a huge platform with more than 1 million followers on Instagram, allow me to introduce myself. Dr. Ludidi, I'm a nutrition scientist with a PhD in irritable bowel syndrome, gut health, and private coach to high performers like you, Jamal Ben Saddik, an elite kickboxing top contender for the world title 2025. Hopefully, that's what I do. I help people live healthier and happier lives through lifestyle, through nutrition and lifestyle advice. Jamal, once again, welcome here in the podcast. And as said, I'm very pleased to speak to you. I've prepared some questions for you. And I'd like to break the ice with the first question about religion and spirituality, which is an important aspect in your life. But how important is that to you? What does it mean to you?
First of all, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here with you and make this conversation. Like you said, religion is a very important part of my life. And I'm very happy when I work towards my spiritual goals to achieve them. And the last time I worked with you, it seems like everything was going very easily. I had my preparation for my Ramadan 2 weeks before, and after I had 1 month of the Ramadan, I must say that I had never had a so easy Ramadan till that moment. So I'm very happy that I started that process with you, and that I had give it a chance, because I was thinking, I think eating is everywhere the same, and but I'm very happy that I stepped with you in this to achieve this goal. Yes.
Wow. And thanks for that. Thanks for the compliment. That's a huge compliment. You said that you are working towards achieving your goals, also your spiritual goals. What is it exactly that you mean by that?
Well, having the energy to pray 5 times a day, and to train after that in the day, and keep busy with your food, and but also have a healthy mind, because that's very important. And
what is a healthy mind?
I always say when you are when you have a healthy mind, you can achieve so much more than only working towards your goals. Because also spiritual takes a lot of energy,
Mm.
and especially in the month of the Ramadan, I always reading books, so things like that. And again, I also train 2 times a day, even in the Ramadan. But I also like to keep busy to grow my spiritual
Mm.
mind.
So this healthy mind is actually that you not only you invest in your body, like by eating the right foods and by training, but you also read, and the prayers, that you're investing in this more spiritual and mindful part of your health journey actually.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
like that.
Interesting. Interesting. And has it changed over time, let's say between you are 34 now,
34. Yes.
34? Has this spirituality thing, has that changed, let's say, over the past 10 years? And if so, how?
Yes, because also you grow as a person, you get to know your body more, and you want to grow as a person, and you invest more time in yourself. Before, when I was like 20, 21, you're still young and you don't know what you want, and you don't know where you are going, but
A lot of distractions,
a lot
maybe.
of distractions, yes. But at the time you get a little bit older, and then you invest more time in yourself. And I think that's the most important thing to do as a person: invest time in yourself, and to get to know yourself better,
Mm.
and to get to know where you want to go in life.
Why is that important to get to know yourself? Because this morning I picked you up, right, and I visited you, and you live in a very peaceful, calm place, and you told me that after my training, I get back home, I won't be disturbed by anyone. It's so peaceful and so calm here. But why is that so important for you to have that time, to spend that time with nobody else but yourself and maybe the cats?
Yes, because in the day when I'm at training or when I'm at work, when I'm outside, I like to give the people around me, or the people when I meet them or they meet me, I like to give them the time they want, and to take some picture with people, and to talk with them a little bit about upcoming fights or fights in the past. And you are a whole day you are busy with that. So I'm happy when I get home. I'm calm, and I don't have any distraction around me or something around me. It's only me and the cats.
So
And
that the energy doesn't go to others, but it goes to yourself.
exactly, because in the day when I'm outside home, I feel like it costs so much energy to please the people around me.
But if that costs you energy, why do you do it?
Because first of all, I love when people ask me for a photo, or ask me for a picture, ask me for to talk with them, and it gives me also energy to see that people are pleased with me and happy with me. With the performance I make in my sports, and with the entertaining I give them, it makes me also happy. And but it costs also a little bit energy, and that's why I need. I, I'm happy I found a balance in it.
So that you can restore your energy also.
Exactly.
All right. Oh, that brings me actually energy. The topic of energy brings me to the first question was how important is spirituality and religion to you? But energy also has to do with physical energy and with health, right? So how important is health for you?
Very important, especially the last 10 or 11 years, because I was back in 2012. I was diagnosed with cancer, and from that moment I was thinking, okay, I need to change my way of living, my way of eating, my way of sleeping, and so I was always searching for better things. Uh, so I'm very happy at this moment. Now I found a masterclass in you to guide me in this whole process, and to take off the stress what I had, to find the best way of living. I'm happy that I find you in this whole process what I had.
Thanks for that. But I'd like to go a bit deeper into that because, I mean, you were sick. You were severely sick. This disease is not just something that you take and that you fight with. In a certain sense, you fight several battles actually at the same time, right? I mean, it's not just in the ring, it's also physical, against the disease, against cancer. I can easily imagine that there is also a mental battle. When we just started working together at the beginning of 2024, somewhere February, I think, you were re-diagnosed, right, with glands that were active, cancer glands. That must have had a huge impact also on your mental health. Or, I mean, how do you even cope with that? You were in fight camp, then the bad news comes. What goes through your mind?
Well, I need to say a lot of things. I like to start from the beginning. I had my first big operation. What I had was back in 2013, when my thyroid removed from me. From that moment,
Because that's where your cancer took place, in the
Yes,
thyroid, right?
yes. So they have removed it in wall. They remove it, and from that moment, I need to live with medication. So that's without the medication, I can't live for long, I think.
Wow.
So, and then you think, okay, I had the worst part of my life is behind me, and a couple of months later, I had a therapy. I think I don't know how to say it in English, but a chemotherapy.
Yeah, chemotherapy.
Chemotherapy, and I was also, and it was just, I think, 2 weeks before a big fight of me back in Japan. But I was, at that moment, I was still young, and I was 21, and I was thinking, yeah, I will get to the therapy, and after that I will go to fight.
But how seriously did you take the disease? Were you 21 and being diagnosed with cancer, thyroid cancer, and you need to take medications every day for the rest of your life? Otherwise, the body won't function properly, and you might even die. I mean, you were 21, a kid. How did you even take it seriously, or did you just? I mean, if I see you speaking about this, I'll just had to go into another therapy, and I had to go into this fight. And were you really aware of the impact that this could really kill you?
I think I don't was I don't was like thinking so far. The only thing that I asked for my doctor at that time, can I continue to fight and to train?
Oh.
Is that possible with what I have? Is it possible to continue what I like to do? And when he said yes, but it will be a little bit difficult for me, it was like, okay, I am diagnosed with cancer. Okay, I will accept that. Maybe not now, but later I will accept it. And but I can keep doing what I love to do.
It's going to be difficult, so let's take that challenge.
Yes, I take a challenge, but the other part was I can continue what I love to do, what I love the most in my life. I can continue that. So
that's it was that important to you.
Yes, yes.
Kickboxing is that important to you. Even though you were diagnosed with cancer, you were not willing to give up the kickboxing and the career, the potential career that you had, to keep going. And
That was at that time the most important thing what I can hear, because maybe to go a little bit earlier in that stage, I had also a doctor who had said, yeah, I think you need to quit boxing and to quit sporting, because with your healthy, it's not possible to continue to do that.
did the kickboxing give you the strength and the power to also, you think, is there a similarity, a parallel maybe, that the kickboxing gave you the strength and the power to also fight the disease?
Yeah, 100%. I think without my sport and without my kickboxing, I think I don't know what will happen in that time. But I'm happy to have this in my life, to keep on challenging myself, to set new goals, and I think that's the most important thing to continue life.
Is that also, if you look back now at that period, you were 21 years, diagnosed with cancer, kickboxing gave you the strength. The doctor just told you there is a chance that you can continue kickboxing. It's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. Looking back at that moment, is it the goal setting, what you learned from kickboxing? What is it what that you learned from kickboxing that helped you? Because that was just the first time that you were diagnosed with cancer. And there were a couple of times thereafter coming, and you also lost your sister and whatnot. What is it that kickboxing gave you specifically? Is there something that you could tap into?
I think the fighting spirit, the setting new goals and to achieve them, and I think that helped me a lot through that process. And
to go through it step by step.
Yeah, step by step, and I think that's the most important thing, to go through that stage of to giving up and to continue fighting. Because also in kickboxing you have two choices here: giving up and continue fighting. Two choices that you can make.
And in life,
like
that's
in
what
life,
you say.
that especially that like in life, you have two choices: giving up and staying home and think, oh, what I have, it's difficult and I can't live without that, and I need to take medication for the rest of my life, and why me? You can do that part, or you can set goals for yourself, keep
Put
on
on
fighting.
the gloves and fight.
Yeah, put on the gloves and fight.
And the difficult thing, but luckily this is not relevant in your life. When do you know when to stop fighting? Right. But this is not a relevant discussion yet. So you continued fighting as you continue fighting in Glory Kickboxing. Then fast forward, that was when you were 21. Then 13 years later, it reappears. You were in Thailand.
Yeah, before we were going to Thailand, I was before that I lost my sister, and the same, she had cancer in her head,
Yes.
like a tumor.
I'm sorry for that. That was in 2019?
The end of 2023.
23, yeah.
Yes, right before going to Thailand.
Could you please guide us a bit through that process? Because how old was she?
She was 41.
Wow,
Yes,
super
she was
young.
41. Two kids, and so 1 year earlier, before that stage of that she passed away, we spoke with the hospital, with the doctors, and they also said, I think she don't have more than a year.
That was when she was first diagnosed.
Yes, back in 2022, and after that, okay, you hear what the doctor said, and you think by yourself, maybe the doctor is not right.
Why did you think that?
Because we were seeing her, and she was healthy, and how did you say she don't have more than a year?
You couldn't imagine.
No, I don't. I could imagine, because I was speaking with her, and she was not looking like sick or something. But again, the weeks going, days going, months going, and after that, I was seeing my sister step by step. Her health was going backwards, and till 2023, the end of 2023, she can't. She wasn't speaking anymore, and then in the last stage, she wasn't seeing anymore,
Mm.
and exactly it was almost a year from that moment till we spoke the doctor before 1 year before, and I was thinking, no, it was so. I have no words to describe that moment.
And I can easily imagine that you don't have the words for that. Did this make you realize how lucky you had been in the past?
Yes, because at that moment when my sister was still alive, I had many moments of, but I have it also. Am I the next one?
Mm.
Sure, you think about these things, but that's what I say. I'm happy to have this sport in my life, to have kickboxing in my life, to be busy with my health and with my spiritual life, and that's the things that take me through these most difficult moments in my
Mm.
life.
It's very human also to have the feeling that I wish that it didn't happen to her, but if it happened to me, I are these thoughts that you also carry
Yes,
with you?
yes, especially in the last months and weeks, I was thinking, why why her? Why? I have it also, and I have it all 10 years. Can I not take it from her away
Mm.
and give it for me, and I will handle it? Maybe like I handled it before what I have,
Mm.
but not her, because I was seeing her really struggling with everything in the last month. She didn't she didn't have the energy, she didn't have the power to take care of herself. Everything, my sisters did everything for her, and she 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 can't walk, she can't speak, she can't see the last week. So it was really difficult to see my sister going through that process,
Mm.
and also to see my parents, to see her kid struggling.
Because this is not the right order. You should not lose your kid first,
That's
right?
what we think. That's what we think.
Mm.
It's normal, but in a lot of things what I see in my life is that the mother or the father lost a child, and it was also in this moment like my parents seeing her kid struggling that way and barely can doing nothing to help her.
Hmm. Which is a natural instinct. As a parent, you always want to help your kids.
Yeah, but the world shows us sometimes a different
Yeah.
thing that's like we think it's normal.
Jamal, and I know this is it's a sensitive topic and it's difficult because losing someone that you love is always difficult. Through the hardship and through the difficult times, now we're almost a year later, right? And I'm sure you haven't fully processed this. It's been your sister for 35 years, but is there something that you maybe learned from her passing away or losing someone this close to you? Is there something that we can learn from that, from this dark
Well, like you
side of
said,
life?
I'm still not fully recovered on that part, because it was exactly a week ago, 1 year and a week ago that she passed away, and a week ago I was standing in front, or where she had her last rest. Uh, I was standing there for hours and just talking with her.
Mm.
Even I know I don't get answers, but I believe she heard me, and she heard everything I wanted to tell her. So it was difficult. Yeah, it was difficult, and what I learned through all this process is, yeah, to be kind, for everyone, to live a happy life, a happy, healthy life, um, to keep on improving yourself, your mental health, your spiritual health, and to be a good person, and yeah, to enjoy life, because life don't have a expiration date. It
Mm.
just happens, and after that you are going to tell, yeah, why he didn't enjoy more. Yes, why he did not that, or
But then it's too late.
it's too late, because yeah, life don't have a experience date. So
Mm. Wow. Thanks for sharing this part also, Jamal. Getting back to your personal situation, then only a couple of months after your sister passed away, I think it was she passed away in December 2023. Then February 24, you got re-diagnosed with active glands. Right? Am I correct?
yes.
I mean, what what does that do to you in your head?
Well, we were in the last days of losing my sister, and I was thinking, okay, I need to feel something, like where my thyroid was. I feel something. Is there something new? I need a
Mm.
control, maybe, because I don't was going for 6 months to the hospital, but I know I had in a couple of months to go there and to see. So and then a morning I woke up and I was saying, hey, I have here something, but I don't know if it's sure something, or, and I was going to the hospital, the first emerging thing. So I was going through there, and I was saying, yes, I want a control today, because I think I feel something, and because I lost my sister already
Mhm.
a couple of days,
Mhm.
and after that I can. I going through this process again, like blood control, everything, and then they were saying, "Yeah, you are right. What you are feeling
Whoa.
is something new that we didn't see 6 months earlier,
Whoa.
and it didn't was there 6 months earlier."
What did you feel? Were you scared, fear, anger?
All emotions in one time. I was thinking, how how I didn't feel nothing. I was just in front of the mirror and feeling something,
Mm.
and I was seeing, have I something, or I was thinking, why again? It's the the 5th time already that I had a surgery on that part, and I had so much emotions in one time. And then I was thinking, okay, keep calm. You had this before. Uh, you will go through this process
Again.
like again, like you did before. It will be difficult, but you can do this.
Wow.
You are strong enough to repeat what you did a couple of years ago.
Where did the strength come from? Because I can easily imagine just losing your sister that you feel like, defeated.
My sister had always one dream to see me becoming world heavyweight
Mm.
champion,
Mm.
and I promised her to be that. And even I didn't tell her at that moment, maybe you are not near me when becoming world heavyweight champion, but I will become it,
Wow.
and you will see that. And I think that's the most important thing, where I get my motivation and energy to go into that process.
So she helped you in two ways, actually, because her death was a sort of a wake up call for you to start feeling again, to become more aware of what is happening in my body. And then next, she also helped you to pick up the gloves again and fight again.
Exactly.
And yet, your surgery in February, March began.
March
And
after
then,
the Grand Prix.
exactly. And then straight into Ramadan.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
I remember. And what I found so impressive was we already started preparing for Ramadan. And I think maybe 7 days after your surgery, your cancer surgery, you're already back to the gym with Saeed, training on the pads and picking up you went straight into Ramadan, and after 7 days, picking up the training sessions and back to preparing yourself. That's quite impressive, actually.
Well, like I said before, I was happy to having you in my life to guide me into this process, because we are at that part we were preparing the 2 weeks of the Ramadan.
Yeah, the
And
preparation
the
phase.
preparation for the Ramadan, and I was feeling so good. I was thinking, okay, I will have this surgery, and after that, immediately I will go back to my food, what I need to eat, and everything. And it was like not. I don't say it was easy, but it was a lot easier than the past surgeries what I had. So I'm happy that that you are in my life to guide me through this difficult process.
More than welcome. And I remember that I tried to calm you down a bit. Don't go, take your time, maybe take 3-4 weeks off. And then, but then you said, as soon as the wound is being healed, and the doctor also said you can gradually, start picking up the gloves, then, and you did, that's what you did, and off you went. Amazing. Yet still, if we look at fasting, let's switch to the topic of fasting, and specifically Ramadan fasting. Before we dive deeper into Ramadan fasting with Jamal and learn what he does to stay fit and strong throughout the Ramadan to reap the benefits from his fasting journey, we have a very nice announcement for you, because this year Jamal and I are launching a new program that can help you prepare for Ramadan fasting in the most optimal way. You will feel stronger, you'll feel more vital and more energetic during Ramadan fasting. Jamal, is there anything you want to say about the program already?
Yeah, well, I would like to say, take this chance and go with us through this process, and have an experience of a way of life, a way of Ramadan that's go very easily, and having more time for yourself and more time for your religion. So I will say, go with us through this process.
An elite athlete experience. Follow our socials. Keep your eyes on our socials to learn more about this product. If you drop the word fasting, a lot of people, they fear fasting. They think, oh, it's suffering. It's a lot of restrictions. I cannot do this and that. And this is how most people see it. And then this guy said to me, the guy who sits opposite to me, he said, well, actually, I see it differently. I see Ramadan fasting period, the holy month of Ramadan, I see that as an opportunity. I see that as an opportunity to be with myself, to have more focus, less distractions, and to focus on my health and well-being. And I learned last year, you learned to use that momentum to invest in yourself, in your health, to become fitter throughout the Ramadan. A lot of people don't believe that you can become fitter throughout, but you became fitter. And that marks the start point of a longer health journey, because then you have the motivation from Ramadan going into the next 2-3 months until the summer. That's how. This is what you taught me last year, and I was like, okay, so there is much more to the whole Ramadan. It's not just a physical thing, but it's also not just a physical, not just a spiritual thing, but also a mental thing, which has to do with motivation, dedication, and you can really make use of the momentum of Ramadan to be super focused and invest the time and energy in your health. This is how you did it. Yet, at the same time, there are a lot of people who fear fasting. They think, I cannot eat, I cannot drink. There's a lot of restriction. What would you tell to those people?
Well, I was one of that persons who was thinking like that before I started working with you, because it's very funny to hear you say that, because I was one of that persons, and it was like, okay, the Ramadan starts. What I need to do, I need to change my food habits. I need to change my training. I need to train in the evening or in the morning or in the late afternoon. When I need to train, what I need to eat, and I had so many questions, but yet not answers.
how come that these questions? Because I think this is a lot of questions people have.
Because a lot of people want to change the way they are living in 1 month, and they want to change the way they eating in 1 month, and they are telling themselves, okay, but what if I wake up at 8 in the morning or 7 in the morning? Do I have the energy to end the day normally and to train? And I think that is the most wrong part of thinking. I think the most people think, yeah, when I wake up in the morning, no, I can't train. But because if I train, I will be very fatigued in the evening, and I don't have the energy more in the evening to do something. But that's wrong thinking, and I was one of that persons who was thinking like that.
So could we say that this is the biggest mistake that you made, was that you tried to save as much as energy as you could until the end of the day, and then right before iftar you went to your training sessions?
And thinking, yeah, I have yes, I
because I train now, so after 1 hour I can eat.
That was the way of thinking what I had, but I think also a lot of people have this same mindset to going through the day, spending no energy, spending no energy,
Thinking, yeah.
yes, spending no energy, and 1 hour or 2 hours before eating, I will train good, and after that I will eat. I think the most of the people have the same mindset like that. And I was one of that persons.
You were.
Till I met you a couple of months ago.
So what made you think, because you had been doing it like that for, like, let's say 34 years. What made you realize this is the moment that I need to do something different? It has to change.
I think the moment I take my phone and called you, that was the moment I was thinking, okay, some things need to change in my life. I becoming older, and the way I worked before, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it don't need to go like that. You can have so much more time for yourself, and you can going through that month of the Ramadan with more energy and take more of that month than I was doing. So yeah, like I said, I'm very happy. Like the way Ramadan is going a couple of months ago, it was, I think, really one of the easiest months in my life, going through the process of eating and training and having a lot of time for my belief and for my prayers. And
you said it was one of the easiest. What is the biggest? Can you name maybe 2 or 3 biggest differences? Maybe energy, or the amount of energy.
Yeah, like I said, the last Ramadan, I don't had the thinking of I have so much hunger, I need to, because I was training in the morning, and you were like you were saying like, no, go train in the morning, and I was like, okay, this is my first training in the morning in the Ramadan. What I can expect after the training? Do I have like the cravings to go to eat something? But no, it don't was like that.
But what happened? What you didn't get the cravings, right?
No, I didn't get the cravings, and that was such a crazy thing. But I think also the way we worked the 2 weeks before, like the start of the preparation of the Ramadan, was a big thing to have an easier start of the Ramadan.
Exactly, because what you do, maybe also to explain this a bit, because for you now it's logic, right? You say you have to train in the morning, and you do not get cravings after that, and it's not necessary to train before iftar, but that's what most people think they need to do. Most people want to train right before iftar, because they think then I can refeed during iftar and beyond. I can get my protein in after iftar. But what happens if you postpone your training until right before iftar? Your body is already depleted because you've been awake for a whole day. You've been breathing and sweating and losing water for a whole day. So you don't have the nutrients, you don't have the water, you've been active, and you're completely depleted. Your system is weak. Next, you try to put in work in a training session with a weakened system that is devoid of nutrients and water. You cannot put in a proper training session if you're not well fed. And then there is too much focus on refeeding. And what happens after iftar is people start becoming a night crawler, also living through the night, eating through the night. They skip on sleep and whatnot. The thing is, if you switch to early morning training sessions, when the body is well rested from the night, if you take your night rest, which is important, when the body is still full of nutrients because you've had your meals after iftar, 3 or maybe even 4 meals after iftar, when the body is well hydrated, properly hydrated, then you can put an amazing training session. You can put in all the work that is needed to improve your performance over the 30 days. Then you do not focus on refeeding. You just leave the refeeding for iftar. You just wait for another 8, 9, 10 hours until at the end of the day, and then you start refeeding. And then there is plenty of time for the body to build in the proteins and the vitamins and the carbohydrates into the muscles and into the system over the night. People fear so much that they refeed too late. But the thing is, what's the use of refeeding the body if you cannot leave a proper training in the gym? There is no use. On top of that, from an evolutionary point of view, the body has recycling mechanisms. Imagine 10,000 years ago, we were hunter-gatherers, and we had to run, or we had to fight maybe a bear or a lion whatsoever, or each other, the Goliath versus the doctor. Then we were not always able to refeed instantly. If this would have been a serious threat for the human species, then we would not be living today. We would have been selected out through evolution. But the body has recycling systems and sparing systems, so it can spare protein to build in later, or even convert lactate that happens during exercise. Lactate can be converted to glycogen, to energy for the muscles. So we should not focus, especially not during Ramadan fasting, focus too much on the refeeding, but focus more on the actual timing and getting sufficient rest. That's much more important than focusing on refeeding while training suboptimally. So that's what we did. We moved your training session to the beginning of the day. Then I told you throughout the day, try to be a bit kind to yourself. From 100%, you move back to 70% because you're not eating and you're not drinking. So it is allowed to calm down a bit. Maybe you want to have some midday nap, so a bit of sleep, maybe 30 minutes up to 60 minutes, to also calm down the system, to reduce your metabolic rate, to reduce your breath so that you lose less water through the breath and whatnot. And another important thing is, and this is what you already said, and this is maybe even the most important thing, is that preparation is key. So what we did is, in the period towards Ramadan, we already practiced, as it were, with different protocols of water intake and food intake, some intermittent fasting in between. And this is a very specific protocol that I've developed when working with people from the army back in the days in 2010, approximately 2010. And these are also high performers who went to warm countries. They needed to be able to perform consistently. And these people from the army, I practiced with them fasting protocols to prepare them also for Ramadan fasting. So over the years, I've optimized the protocols also with bulk drinking huge loads of water so that the body can store the water instead of consistent drinking, which pushes the body to consistent urine production so that you lose water. And this different approach, less carbohydrates, more healthy fats, intermittent fasting, and so forth. This specific protocol prepares the body for Ramadan fasting in the most optimal way based on science and based on evolutionary principles. And this finally helped you to get rid of cravings throughout the day. Your body knew that it doesn't need food right away. It can have food and also water later the day. So thanks for allowing me the time to explain and to repeat it, because Ramadan is upcoming also next year, or at least in 2025, and it will come back here. It will come back every year. Here in Europe, it becomes a bit milder now. The days become shorter, but worldwide, at some locations, the fasts last very, very long, and it can be harsh also in the warm circumstances. Let's see. There are a couple of other things. Yeah, this is what I wanted to ask you.
Shoot.
Jamal. Yes. Is there an ideal meal for you? What did you learn about the meals to break the fast, and also maybe after iftar, how many meals would you have and what would you eat? Do you remember? Because I'm going to send you a new protocol this year, but what is it that you remember?
The past years I was working with counting calories. And that's the thing that what we didn't do in the Ramadan, and over the year what we don't do, and that was very very funny, because I can get meat and like vegetables, but I don't need to count what I do on my on the table, what I want to eat, and that's a big thing what's keeping in my mind.
Was it difficult?
No, it was something new, because I like I said, I was the years before I was counting calories. How much grams need I do on the table? How much grams need I do for this, and how much I need from that? And from the start working with you, it was no. You can have your meal, you can have your meat, a little bit vegetables, what you want, and eat. So we were not counting calories, and that was a thing where I found the most good of it. Yeah.
Why was it maybe a little bit less restrictive? Did it give you more freedom?
It gave me more freedom to not to eat what I want, but to eat how much I want.
And here?
A lot of more freedom. When you have freedom in your head, you have everything, and so I had that was most good thing for me through this process.
Did you enjoy the foods?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, a lot.
Because what I find important is that the food is not only nutritious, but it's also delicious, and they go hand in hand. And if you have nutritious foods that you eat after iftar, which satiate you, gets you full, and it's also delicious, then there is a less tendency to go to the to all the shabakia and all those, you know them.
Yeah,
I see you laughing. It's a laugh out of guilt.
I need to say, I didn't have the cravings to eat them last Ramadan. When I was going to my mother's house, to my parents' house, sure, I eat one, and also
you had to, right?
Yeah, I had to. Yes, I had to. But when I get back home, I didn't have the cravings to eat that, because I was enjoying my my food by itself, because it was very delicious. And also there was a moment I was thinking, is it really healthy? Like, it's delicious. How it can be so? So I didn't have any cravings to go into something else, to eat something else.
Good. How many meals would you have?
I had 3 meals.
3. Initially, I think we started with 4, right? But it was too much.
Yes, 4 was too much, because I was coming from counting calories, and I had, for several months I was eating only that calories, and then we were starting, but like eat 4 meals. But in the beginning, I didn't had the strength and the power to eat that 4 meals, and we were going to 3 meals.
One more thing, let's put the question differently. What would a day during Ramadan, a day in the life of Jamal Ben Saddik, what would it look like? Tell us.
From the start, from eating, you mean,
Yeah,
or through the process too, from
yeah,
waking up?
exactly. What time would you wake up?
I will wake up. First of all, I will pray my my prayer, my Fajr prayer, and after that, most of the time, I don't go. I don't go for only a quick nap. Yes, but quick in the morning, standing up, and
What time approximately?
at 7,
Okay.
6:30, 7.
So you have another short sleep after
Yeah,
the morning prayer.
yeah, 1 hour, one
Exactly.
1 hour, and then I start my day. And that's the part where I was really scared of before working with you. Like, do I really need to wake up at 7 and start my day, and going through all the day and eating at the evening, because I was scared
Yeah.
from that part.
Because
But
people think that they need food to be able to function, but they tend to forget that if they had food last night, there is still food in the system. And just a small break here, because there's, I mean, what we do here is putting science into practice, right? And try to combine spirituality and science, because I think if you look at spirituality and science, is often thought of that there's two different things, right? Here is spirituality or religion, and here is science. But if you see this line and I make it into a circle, they're actually very close to each other. But we have the tendency to think that they are very far removed from each other. But they're actually, if we put them in a circle, they are next to each other. And fasting is one of the things that shows that there is a clear overlap between religion or spirituality and science. And from a religious point of view, there's always been fasting has been with us for so long. We see it in Islam, we see it in Christianity, we see it in more indigenous religions, in Hinduism as well. But from the scientific point of view, we're only recently we started to discover what the benefits, the true benefits for the body, but also for the mind are of fasting. And from a religious point of view, we know that it has to do with clearing the mind and clearing the body, cleansing the body and cleansing the mind. And we see that in science, indeed, it cleanses the body. It gets rid of toxins. It gets rid of toxins. It helps the mind also to become clearer and think clearer and sharper, also through ketone production, etc. So what we see, if we go back to this line, spirituality and science, they are very closely related to each other. And this is also why this intrigues me so much. However, that does not mean that the recommendations that I give, they are based on the scientific side of the story, not on the religious side of the story. I try to account for religion as much as I can. But for myself, I'm not a Muslim. I do not practice religion. I'm a scientist. And I try to add value and information from a bioevolutionary and scientific point of view. That could mean that in some cases, my recommendations could be against some of the streams that people practice, right? You pick what you need, you pick what you use. And some Muslims taught me that they have to eat in the morning, they must eat in the morning. And others, they interpret it a bit more freely, and they say, if I don't want to have the morning meal, I'm allowed to skip it. That's up to the individual how to cope with that, right? But if you choose for skipping it, that is an option from a biological point of view. The body is capable of not having food, yet still surviving, performing, and whatnot. Having had this intermezzo, please continue. It's 7 in the morning, Jamal. You just woke up, yet your morning prayer went back for another hour. You woke up. Back then, you were scared of, going to the gym. What is it that you do at 7 in the morning?
Well, waking up, taking a cold shower. After that, prepare myself to step in the car and to drive an hour to go to SB gym in Utrecht. It's an hour and a half.
To train with Said.
To train with Said in the morning we train at that time at 10 in the morning, because it's like 2 hours driving, 1 hour and a half, 2 hours driving, and to train at 10 in the morning.
How long?
A little hour, 1 hour, one on one. So it's not like you can have 10-minute rest or 20-minute rest in that part in that hour. So we were training an hour, and after that I had I think I had 1 hour rest or 1 hour and a half rest, and then I was going with Wouter to have my strength training.
Strength and conditioning.
Yeah, strength and condition training. And I think after that, when I finished all the training, it was like 12, 1, 1 in the afternoon, like something like that. And after that, yes, I was finished with everything and going back home and working a little bit, working on my religion, reading Quran, pray my prayers, and through this whole process, before eating, I was scared from that process. Like wake up in the morning and going to train not 1 time but 2 times a day, having my kickboxing and my strength and condition. I was scared of that part because I was always what I had in my mind was, no, I will wake up at
as late as you can,
late as possible, and after that going easily through my day and train in the evening. That was the thing what I did all my life. And this Ramadan, I had the first time I had working with you to go into this process. Like I told you, waking up at 7, going to side into train kickboxing. After that, my strength and condition, I feel so much better than before.
Wow!
And I had also much more time in the day.
Yeah,
because I was waking up early.
Exactly.
I going early to training. I going back home, and I had a lot of time to read, to pray, and
no rushing.
Yes, no rushing on nothing, and so that was.
And then you end up in the evening. Then after you had 3 meals, and now the final question: what time did you go to bed?
After the last prayer, I go into bed because I didn't change a lot of things through this month, because I was also waking up very early, so I didn't change nothing. Like I going late to bed or something like that. No, had my last meal, had my last prayer. After that, straight to bed.
Yeah, around
and waking up, I think around 11.
Yeah,
10:30, 11. It was last prayer when finished Tarawih, everything. I had last prayer, going to bed, waking up at Fajr, pray Fajr. Before that, I had a small meal to eat. And after that, taking a short nap and waking up again at 7.
Yeah, good. Thanks.
That was the day.
All right. Good. Thanks for explaining, Jamal. And what we see is that you might get a bit less night rest than normal, maybe a bit less, but for this month, that's perfectly fine. The good thing here is that you make use of the day, what it's meant for, that is being active. You make use of the night, what it's meant for, that's sleep. Night is not meant for being active, eating and whatnot. And this is one of the fundamental aspects also. If you want to live through Ramadan in a very successful way and make use of the power of Ramadan and Ramadan fasting to become a more vital and fit human being, I'd like to wrap it up with 3 tips for the audience and to help them also to make upcoming Ramadan a very strong one. And my first tip, my first suggestion is start in time with your preparation. I usually recommend 3 to 2 weeks before Ramadan starts to start preparing yourself mentally, but also physically, using certain protocols, maybe intermittent fasting, bulk drinking and whatnot. Second tip is stick to the rhythm. Days for being active, nights is for sleep. And then the third one is to make use of a nutrition protocol that facilitates the metabolic switch. If you're going to fast, the body tends to burn more fats than carbohydrates, because after a while the carbohydrates are being burned up. You need to facilitate your body towards that fat burning capacity, meaning that you eat less carbohydrates after iftar and more healthy fats and good proteins and all kinds of nutritious foods. That helps facilitating that metabolic switch, thereby making it less hard to continue the day with less food. You get less cravings and whatnot. So we have a preparation, we have rhythm, nights of sleep, days of activation, and we have food. Make sure to reduce the carbohydrates a bit and to increase the fats and the good proteins. That's it for today. For now, Jamal, I'm looking forward to 2025's next Ramadan together with you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing your journey. Thanks for sharing your sports stories, your health journey with us. And we'll meet soon.
Thank you for having me. Looking forward to 2025 and looking forward to the next Ramadan to have it. Yes, let's go. Thank you all.